It's taken me a super long time to figure out a really simple, should be a simple thing, which is, and I think this applies to everybody, the way that I see the world is not the way that everybody sees the world. It sounds simple. I mean, it could be that the way you and I see the world is radically different. I mean, we're still seeing, this can and this banana. We have a reasonable connection as to, what these things are, but they come with just a host of different ideas, different feelings. A banana, I don't know exactly what the feelings are this brings up, or perhaps it's just that I don't care to talk about my feelings about bananas at this moment. But when it comes to things like creativity, taking the fruits of our imagination and bringing them forward, that's where we really have some differences. And I noticed, because I've been talking to a few people on the phone today about, the creative process in general, and my process and other people's process. And I've been long sort of coaxing, prodding, encouraging people to sort of take a dive in, a fearless dive into their own sort of subconscious minds. And I've said this in a bunch of different ways in this little low battery warning, a bunch of different ways in this workshop. But I see now that it has to be said in a different way. Taking that dive really means taking a dive straight into failure, whatever that means. And I think that's a harsh word, and I'm only using it because that's like banana. That's another place where we probably connect. We understand, largely, loosely what failure feels like, what it means. But failure just means things that turn out as you planned. But when you're trying to write a song and at the same time you're trying to be good, which certainly I do at times, it's a liability. Trying to be good is protecting oneself at the same time. It's very difficult to lug the load of self-protection along with you when what you need is the lightness of freedom, of not being excellent. And here's the thing. It's not that we're really afraid necessarily of having other people see our bad work. That's true. We fear that. But it's gotten so bad that we ourselves don't want to see this sort of flawed reflection of who we think we are. We don't want to start something and then on the page it's just horrible, embarrassing stuff. Like, stop. I don't want to be embarrassed about knowing who Peter Himmelman really is. And I understand that impulse. I share it. But I see it. I see it clearly. I see it as an impediment. And I have created these means to get around it and to get past it. I'm going to share them with you again. One is, when you're writing, you don't need an idea. Try coming to your page really whenever you're ready to write, which hopefully is not long. And again, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because I'm sure 99% of you didn't try this. I probably wouldn't either. People give you these advice and things and counseling. It's not like you just do them right away. But my advice in counseling is to set your timer for 7 minutes. Try this experiment. What are you going to write about? I don't feel like writing anything. Good. Sit down and set the timer and start writing a song. and try to finish it in 7 minutes or 8 or 10 minutes. Don't come back to it later the next day. It's not that kind of thing. This is an exercise. See what you come up with. Start writing anything. Just write anything. The short canoe trip that made long memories. That's just something that I read right now. That's the title of your song. Whatever you see around you. I don't have much. These drawers are so empty. Let's see, somebody's CD. Kristen Mooney's CD. I'd read this, but the lettering is too small. Here's another person. Oh, Rob Arthur, what a great keyboard player. So, I thank you for getting this across the finish line. Across the finish line. That's your song. Start writing it. Finish the song. Don't have an idea. Don't try to be good. Just try to finish it. This little exercise is deep because it relates to life itself. Don't try to be good. Just show up. Just do it and see what happens. The brain here, I don't know, Lawrence Meredith could explain it, the neurologist. He could explain it well, and I hope he makes a short video and posts it to explain what this conscious mind is, the active mind that's always on. Well, what do these bananas cost? Try not using that brain to write this song. Try to sink beneath it so that things just start to come out and start to flow. Give yourself the opportunity to say, oh my God, what have I just done? What aspect of myself have I revealed here? Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you have to let everyone else see it, but you first have to let yourself see something very intimate, something revealing. Your mind, your subconscious mind, you keep it down all the time. It says embarrassing things. The subconscious mind is the mind that we should use when we're playing, when we're making love, when we're, with children, when we're swimming in the ocean, when we're laughing and when we're dancing. It's very hard, even in those moments, not to have the judgmental mind there, but that's where songwriting lives. It lives in those moments that we've just let go. And this is not only a songwriting exercise, it's an exercise for life. And songwriting is not about songwriting. Songwriting is about seeing everything in a new way. It's a meditation, it's a prayer. It truly is a way of moving through the world. And I was just listening to this long podcast, which I posted. It's so long, probably it's daunting for anybody here to watch, about this songwriter who passed away about a year ago. He didn't pass away, he was fucking murdered. And if you listen to it, you'll learn that he was one of the most profoundly gifted artists that you never heard of. As good as any artist you've ever adored. His mother came on and talked about him after he died and said his modus operandi was one of moving through the world with love. That sounds like a cliche. It sounds like some sort of effete sentiment that, somebody might etch on a Hallmark card, but I know the woman a little bit since my friend Dave died, and she's deep. And she said either your modus operandi is fear or love. Either you're moving through life in love at any given time, or fear. I don't even know if it can be a combination. It's one or the other. And at every single moment, even this moment, I'm trying to, I don't even know. I think there's a lot of fear even now because it's unnatural, sort of talking into a phone and trying to pretend, looking at the dot like I'm looking right at you. but at least I'm conscious of it. And I want you to be super conscious of where you're at. It'll help your songwriting, it'll help your life. That's all I got to say. In the words of Maimonides, the Jewish philosopher, only say half of what you know, and when you hear yourself speaking, stop. I have done the latter, and I shall press off.